something. Hey there. How's it going? Let me come over here to the comments. Wow. Good to see y'all. Patrick, Jeff, David, David Bird, and David Blaylock. Good to see y'all. David and David. Diane, hey, good to see you. Glad you made it. Everybody ready for tomorrow? Hi, David Bird. Welcome. Welcome to the podcast. Yeah, tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day, as y'all know. Yes. Okay, now who all staying home and cooking? Yeah, I know, David. I see you are a new visitor to my podcast, and thank you. Yeah, thank you for joining us. You'll find that we're a friendly bunch here. All right. Well, tell you what. Let's get the announcements over and done with. Let's see. Trying to think what all's going on in the group. we've gotten, let's see, we got a report the other day in the group. It's not a new report, though. It's an old encounter, old sighting from back in 1967 or 68. I can't recall what it is. Up in Titusville, Pennsylvania. Hey, JR, good to see you. It was for a white Bigfoot. There were apparently some boys who were camping, 3 teenagers. They were camping out in the Allegheny National Forest. They had set up their tents. They were all set. They were hanging around, and then a white Bigfoot. I don't recall the description. I'll have to go over it again. But it either stepped out or they spotted it. But it frightened them bad enough, apparently by throwing a rock at them, that they took off, leaving their camp behind. They didn't bother to break it down. They just took off. And so this predates the, what is the other one? There was another white Bigfoot. Thank you, JR. Yes, please hit that like button. I appreciate it. Patty, good to see you made it. Yes, hit that like button, guys. Yeah, the Carbondale. There was the Carbondale, Pennsylvania white Bigfoot sighting. It was on video. That was, let me think, it was about 10 years ago or so. And I've studied that video pretty much in depth. I know there have been a few others. Thank you, Patty. Appreciate it. There have been a few other researchers who have also studied that video. And I think some of them doubted it because it was a white Bigfoot. They also doubted it because the eyes on the Bigfoot were all black. And that kind of threw people off. Now, from experience and knowing, I've been studying these things for quite a long time. If you look at the Carbondale video, the Carbondale, Pennsylvania Bigfoot, the white Bigfoot, it moves around. This guy is spotlighting it with his flashlight. It's moving around behind the trees. It's very short video because it takes off as soon as he catches it on his spotlight. But what happens is the reason why, in my humble opinion, the eyes show up as completely black, in the dark, because primarily, whenever, you like it. I know I like that video also. It's, in the dark, and this even happens with your eyes, just not to the degree that showed on this video. Your irises will enlarge to enable more light to be gathered to be able to see better. And the more that your iris, opens and gathers more ambient light, whatever ambient light there is, it'll, your eyes will show more black, the iris will show larger. And excuse me. It's just lemon water, guys. You know, it'll gather in the light, you know, all the ambient light that it can get. And that's why its eyes were showing completely black. I'm sure the entire eye wasn't iris, but just in that particular video and at that angle, it was, you know, its eyes was showing as completely black. It's a pretty compelling video. And here, let me type this into the sorry for the huge arms. There we go. Yeah, you can look it up. Look it up on YouTube. It's a Carbondale Bigfoot. Like I said, the video itself is very short, but you know, there's a few people, you know, researchers who research video. Party at my house. That's tomorrow, Vicky. Good to see you. But yeah, that's, you know, like I say, in my humble opinion. But yeah, we had gotten this report, you know, from back in 1967 or 1968 of this other white Bigfoot who had thrown a rock at these 3 teenage boys who took off, left their camp, left their tent standing, and just booked on out of there. And who can blame them, really? So that one, one of our members, you know, brought it up, you know, asking about, you know, if anyone remembered that. And then another member commented that there is a YouTube channel that he found the original newspaper story out of the newspaper archives of I think it's the Titusville Herald. And he dug it up. And on this YouTube channel, he's talking about and reading the story. And if you're interested in seeing the complete story, at least from the newspaper, along with, you know, this gentleman, you know, telling the story, his channel is Old School Joe. And school is SKOOL, Old School Joe. That is the YouTube channel. So he's pretty good. He's funny. He's an amusing storyteller. He throws in a few little antics here and there throughout the video. You know, it's pretty good. And let's see, what else? What else is going on? Past few weeks, I've been getting contacted. I've been contacted by a few festivals that I've attended before. One of them is a pretty huge one in the Allegheny National Forest. Some of you may know about it. I was the keynote speaker on their first year. That was 2021. And they asked me to speak again. The announcements aren't official yet. I haven't signed the contract yet, but still have to. It's probably in my email, which I hardly ever check. I'm horrible at that. That, and then there's another festival it's let me see, what is it called? Bigfoot and Bluegrass. Oh, that Dyson air filter, it's working really well. It used to be quirky that, after spending an hour in here, excuse me, that I would get all stuffed up. I would just get all clogged up and stuffed up. And I thought that it was mold or something. I don't know what it was. And so my husband bought an air filter. But what's blowing right now? It's a fan. But then I do have a air. What do you call it? Air filter, whatever it is. Ion. Yeah, ion something or other. It runs 24/7 in here, and it's apparently cleaning the air for me, so I can spend hours down here now and not get clogged up, and it's perfectly fine. But there's the fan behind me. You can see it. I've had that for a few years, and I love it. It's perfect. Okay, Victoria, that conference, let me look. The one in the Allegheny National Forest, let me get on my phone. That's in June. It's usually the beginning of June. Okay, June 6, 7, and 8. And, I'm not going to say the name of it or anything like that yet because, like I said, it hasn't been announced officially. There is another one in eastern Pennsylvania. That one, I know there's one in October. Yeah, the Bigfoot Bluegrass Festival. That is October 11. That is it's called White Deer, Pennsylvania, at the White Deer Community Park. Bigfoot Bluegrass Festival. So it should be fun. There'll be myself, and I'm going to try to drag in a few people from my team. Aw, that'll be so nice. I hope you can make it, Victoria. I really know. Okay, Corky. Yeah, I'll check it after the show, and I'll send you a message with what brand that Ion Hickey-Doo machine. I don't know what it's called, but whatever it is, it works really well. Let me see what else is going on. I just want to make sure I don't miss any of your questions. Jeff, I missed you on there. Tell Santa you was a fan. Aw. Let me see. You're going hiking in Alaska in June. Oh, that'll be cool. Really cool. Man, I'm jealous. I really am. I would love to get up there someday. I can't hike anymore, but you never know. One of these days, may be a miracle. But tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day. It's a special day. And we all have to say, give our thanks and for God and all his gifts. See those two hats? Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for that. All right. And one other little piece of information. I want to give a shout out. Oh, Victoria, this conference, let me see, this year, 2024, there were at least 50,000 people is the number that I heard. And it was amazing. It was packed. Turtle Man was there. There were, a few other people there. One guy from the Not Finding Bigfoot TV show was there, and I'm not going to say anything. I was excited to see Turtle Man, and I met him, got to talk to him. There was always a jam-packed crowd around him. But I caught him on the last day. He and his wife were packing up, and I happened to be walking past with my stuff from our tables, our booth, and you'll go hiking with grizzlies. Yeah, it's a huge festival, is what it is. And it's over 3 days. It's over the weekend. Sunday is usually not as busy. So if you come, come up, stop on Sunday, the last day of the conference, it's not a conference, it's a festival. And it's not as busy, so stop by if you can. I really want to meet you in person, for heaven's sakes. All right, what was I talking about? Yes, I want to give a shout out. I was talking with, well, let me back it up here. I have been thinking about next year. I'm hoping and praying that some money comes in next year. And so I've been looking at RVs, at some camping trailers. And on the most part, the RVs that are out there, they're built cheap. They fall apart because, you know what they always say, it's a rolling earthquake, every time you drive on the road with an RV. Cabinets disconnect, hinges come loose, nails come loose, screws come loose, fittings fall off and come apart. But I was doing some digging, and I ran into this one brand that, from everything that I've been reading, everything that I've heard and checked out, their RVs, nope, not Airstream. They're, as a matter of fact, on one of their videos, they show a guy hitting the side of the RV with a sledgehammer. Yeah, you can punch the side of it. You can hit it with a sledgehammer. You're not going to dent it. And if you guys know, yeah, I know, Patty, better get a little bit older camper in good shape, but they still fall apart. And you guys know, where I go, things get a little hairy with Harry. Yeah, I've been rocked, while I'm sleeping, the side, hit, they'll hit the side They'll punch it, they rock your trailer, they do all kinds of stuff. They look in the windows, and plus my sister camps along with me, and she will not camp in a tent anymore. Now me, I don't mind sleeping in a tent, don't mind it a bit, but there's certain places that even I would prefer being in a little bit more secure surroundings. Now, the name of this of these RVs, it's through RVs of America. RVs of America. I want to give them a shout out. I've been messaging them, and they really are Johnny on the spot. Just chatting, and really good guys, very friendly, and all I could say is, I really love the quality. They get really good reviews, from the people who own them. They have a YouTube channel. It's ROA Off Road, and I suggest that you check them out. Look at the videos. There's 2 of them. Yeah, I like the smaller ones also, Patty. They've got, there's 2 of them that I like. I really like. They're a little bit smaller also. The first one that I spotted that I really like, it's called the Pause, Pause, Reboot. And it's the 17.4 model, which means it's 17 feet and sleeps 4. The other one that I like is it's just a Pause, Pause, 16.4. They're small enough that easily handled, with Lou's pickup truck. And eventually I'll get my own pickup truck again. And the booths convert into, the booths are like 2 twin beds, but then it's also like a dining booth where you can put a table in the middle and eat. And you can open up the back end of it. Opens up on the 16.4, it raises up. And then the 17.4, I know I'm describing this pretty badly, but it's like a slider where it slides open, and it's pretty one. Yeah, I know. They're pretty expensive. But like I said, next year, we'll see. We'll see. And, if we have any rich sponsors in there who would like to donate, a RV from RVs of America, one of the Pause, I would be forever grateful. Or, if you look in the description of the video, just read down. I have a little section there where it says donations are gratefully accepted. Get one that fits in the back of my truck. It's what I used to have. Corky. I used to sleep in the back of my pickup under the cap. I had a really nice setup there. Really nice. It's just that the size pickup that we have right now, a camper that fits on the back of your truck would be too heavy on the back of your truck. Plus, my sister wouldn't be able to camp with me. And that's the purpose of this. And I'm fine with a trailer. Yeah. I know quirky, but again, I need to have something that fits both. Yeah, the cab over camper. With my sister, I need more space. And but we'll see. We'll see what happens next year. But again, RVs of America, Shane, and I think that I'm not sure. The gentleman that I was speaking with on Messenger. Let me see. I think it might be Josh K. At least that's the email that he gave me. Yeah, Josh K or Shane, one or the other. But I really like those. And yeah, Dave, those cab over campers, I've seen too many horror stories and videos and photos of pickup trucks just basically collapsing, because of the weight. They're just not, some of them just aren't built, for those cab over campers. Yeah, you can rent them. I know. I've checked into it quite a bit. And there, in our area, I don't know if you've really checked out the rentals, around like within 100, 200 miles. It's the quality of them just aren't not good. They're not sturdy. They're the usual ones. And I don't know. Rental is always a possibility, but then they usually don't rent the off-road ones. And I need an off-road RV. I've also checked into the Class C, B plus Class Cs. Those are a possibility also. And it's just, with them, I'm really limited because the setups just don't seem to work out for what I need. Yeah, let's see, Patty, here, let me put you on here. Patty, I like the ones that have a queen bed. You leave it made up and don't take it apart every day. I know that wet bathroom, been there, done that, can't stand it. I cannot stand the wet bathroom. Yeah, I need it separate. A lot of the smaller Class C's and B's, B pluses, have the wet bath. I can't stand that. I need, the dry bath, basically. But also, Holiday Inn for you. That's my husband. The Holiday Inn. So, we'll see. And let me see. Make sure I've gone through everything. Okay. All right. Now, tonight, and this will be probably around 9:00, 9:15. We'll see. But we're going to have a drawing. And as you know, this is our fan appreciation podcast, where I say thank you to you guys, for being on here, for interacting, just the conversation. Heck, I enjoy it. I really do. But I've got a few things here. The winner will be able to choose a prize. I've got some ball caps here with Bigfoot on there. I don't know if you can see. Patty, I have your, hold on, let me get over here. Just in case you're the winner, Patty. Car magnets, and these are big ones. These are about 1 foot long and 9 inches wide. Has Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project logo. I also have these metal signs. Property protected by Bigfoot. And what else? What else do I have? I have my book. They're put away right now, but let me see. It'll be an autographed copy of my book. And then, yeah, there's my book. Ooh, okay. What I've learned about Bigfoot, 50 years and counting. I'll send you an autographed copy. You're going to win that sucker someday. Yep. And we also have our t-shirts with the logo on it. You know, this logo. And I also have hoodies. Now these are limited. I only have, hey Phyllis, good to see you. Okay, I have limited sizes. I have 2XL, and I may have extra large also. I'm not sure. I would have to dig. But whoever the winner is, let me know what your preference is. I'm not sure. I've autographed the hoodies before. I don't think it turns out really well because it's hard to get, you know, the fabric ink to show on that dark fabric. But, you know, if you want a t-shirt or the hoodie, I can autograph those. Oh, yeah. I know that those hoodies, they are so nice. They really are. They're nice and thick. I know I like that sign also. Yes. So a little bit later, what I'll do is I'll have everyone make a comment, you know, whoever wants to be in on the drawing, probably starting around 9 o'clock. Just, you know, type in the word. What should we choose? What word should we have you prize? Okay, just type in the word prize, but not right now because I'm not going to be able to keep track. Although Patty is here to help me keep track of everyone, but a little bit later, type in the word prize if you want to be in on winning one of these. And we'll do a drawing later, about 9 o'clock, 9:15. That's Eastern Standard Time. All right, so the other thing that I had planned for tonight that I figured, you know, it's the right time to do it because tomorrow, like I said, is Thanksgiving. Tomorrow is also my birthday. It falls occasionally on Thanksgiving, which is fun. I baked a cake for myself tonight because none of the bakeries had anything because of the holiday. But that's okay. That way I get the cake that I want. And so thank you, Patrick. Thank you, JR. Oh, thank you, Corky and Phyllis. Thank you so much. Thank you, David. Yeah, Diane, thank you. Yeah, the 20th was our anniversary, Lou and my 20th anniversary. And we went out to dinner. We went to Pittsburgh. It's the Texas de Brazil. It's one of those restaurants. I can't remember what you call it. It's a Brazilian steakhouse where, yeah, I need a Bigfoot cake. Where the gauchos, or no, it's not Brazilian steak, Argentinian, an Argentinian steakhouse. It's all you can eat. The gauchos go walking around the tables and, with steak and meat, chicken, pork, beef, all kinds of cuts. And you just tell them to slice off some, and there's all you can eat soup and salad bar. It's great, love it. And then on the way home, we got a flat tire. 48 is a great age to be. I agree, Patty. I'm 29 again. Have I been out researching? It's let me think. I went out physically out. When was that? A couple months ago. But here at home, it's daily. Because just like you, it's it's a daily thing because they're here. The other day, I'm not sure, not certain, but I may have heard them talking, the samurai chatter again. I was going to run into, sorry, Sinead. I was going to run into the house and grab my phone or something to record them, but they stopped talking. So, and I'm not sure if it would have been able to pick them up because it was up on the hill where I saw the one come out. So that seems to be an area that they pretty much hang around up there. I've heard the samurai chatter before. As a matter of fact, tell you what, that's tonight's podcast. I wanted to go over, not in depth, but the five. I wanted to talk about the 5 Bigfoot that I saw, and if I still have a little bit of time, some more memorable encounters. But I'll include the one with the samurai chatter where I heard that. Okay, as you know, I've seen 5 Bigfoot. I possibly have seen more, but, it's only been flashes, movement, and I'm not 100% certain what I saw. And so I'm not even going to count, those. If I'm not certain as to what I saw, I don't consider it. But my very first sighting, number 1, was back in 1967. I was 11 years old, living out on a farm. This was in Allegheny County, Jefferson Borough. That's in southern Allegheny County. We owned a 100-acre farm. And one day, I was out hiking. There's a gas line trail at the back of the farm, and I would go up on that gas line trail and just walk along it and hike it. And Western Pennsylvania, you've heard me before. It's hills and hollers. Ooh, hills and hollers, hills and hollers. I was starting to walk down a hill. To my right was woods, and to my left was a field that was pretty much overgrown with brush and bushes. But I was heading down this hill, and out of the woods to the right came this Bigfoot. Right now I can say it was a Bigfoot. At that point in time, I had no idea. We really had no idea that there was anything like that around. The only thing that we knew, or I knew, was what I had seen on TV about, the Siberian snowman, or the Yeti, way out on the other side of the world. Hadn't even heard about Sasquatch out on the West Coast. Hadn't even heard about that. And at that point in time, my dad hadn't taught me or told me about the wild man. He told me about the wild man or the hairy man maybe a year or so later. But what I saw, it was huge, black, and what I pictured and what I thought was a large man wearing a black fur coat. Now, this was in the middle of the summer. You were born in 67, Corky. Cool. It walked out. The skin around the face, it had hair, of course, around the face, but its skin was like a gray, light gray, not dark. And what happened was he walked to the path across from me, and I just stopped, and he looked at me. And that was it. He looked at me for a few seconds. Then he turned and continued on and went into that field on the other side. Now, nothing else happened. He wasn't threatening. He wasn't growling, or he didn't look menacing. It was pretty benign. He just stopped and looked at me. Now, it wasn't until, decades later that it really connected, as to what I saw, because, we learned later on, yeah, there's Bigfoot around. And the image of what I saw, it just stuck in my mind. I don't know why. It was just a man, large man, very large man wearing a black fur coat in the middle of summertime. Why would that stick in your mind for decades? But it did. and so I remembered that and put it together as to what he was. Now, a few decades later, I just lived a normal life on the farm. From what I recall, nothing really happened on the farm. I don't recall any Bigfoot activity. It's a possibility. that my dad saw one or experienced one there on the farm, because he did tell me like a year or so later, just talking. We were walking out in the apple orchard, and he was talking to me and telling me about the wild man or the hairy man of Pennsylvania. And to be honest, I don't recall any details as to what he described. Excuse me. Just that there were these wild, feral men or hairy people running around, that they were wild, and that's really all that I recall from what my dad had said. And I wish I remembered. I wish he was around so I could talk to him more. But unfortunately, no. He passed away in 1999. Okay, my second sighting was decades later. I married, divorced, and remarried Lou, and he owned a house in Beaver County, and so I moved in with him. We married 2004, and I moved in with him, at his house, and almost immediately, activity started. I would be sleeping in bed, and something would whack the wall right behind my head. And the one night I heard them talking, and that was the samurai chatters, what I later identified. But all I heard was this garbled, growly voice, two voices talking back and forth, just a and I heard that, and I was trying to figure out what the heck is that. And again, it wasn't until later on that I heard a recording of this Sierra Sounds from Ron Moorhead. Fascinating. If you want to look it up, it's on YouTube. And there's a cryptologist, retired Navy cryptologist, who is deciphering the language. He is doing a fantastic job. So look it up. I highly suggest you look it up. But we lived over there in Beaver County, North Swickley Township, for 12 years. And activity was pretty constant. It was whacking the walls of the house. They would peek in the back door through the windows. And my dog at the time, I had a border collie. Her name was Xena. And she would give me a little heads up that they were out there, watching through the door. What she would do, she would lay down always. Her spot was laying by that back door, just constantly watching out that back door. And whenever he was around, the big hairy SOB, yeah, maybe Bigfoot originates from Pennsylvania. Yeah, you never know. What was I saying? Anyway, Xena would warn me that they were around. by she would give a very soft mixture of a whine and a growl, very soft. And she would be laying down, and then her hackles would go up, and she would back up, crawling until she was huddled up against my legs, just shaking in absolute terror. She was absolutely terrified, of that thing. And she wasn't scared of anything. She would always be out there chasing the groundhogs, which scared me. And because I've seen dogs ripped apart by groundhogs, and she was always chasing them and the rabbits and the birds and whatever else. But she wasn't afraid of anything. But this terrified her. And this went on for a long period of time, 12 years. And the one day, and I'm thinking, I kind of nailed it down to 2007, that I was out in the backyard. I had just washed my hair. It was still wet, so I went out there in the sunshine, and I was drying my hair. And I was just sitting there, and I looked. There was a stone wall bordering our property, and I saw movement over top of this stone wall, and I saw this big head and shoulders looking up, facing me, watching me. It was, the sun was behind it, so I really couldn't see any features. It was silhouetted by the sun, and but I could see its hair. It had like a very pretty, like rust color, red rust colored hair, and it sparkled like gold and rust, gold and copper, in the sunshine. It was very pretty. But as soon as I saw him, I looked at him and I said, "I see you, USOB. I see you." He ducked down, and yeah, he was busted. So yeah, Corky. Yeah, I can, a lot of times I can feel them also whenever they're around. But yeah, this went on for 12 years. The one night, or let me back up. One day, I made the mistake watching that Not Finding Bigfoot TV show. And I saw them, doing calls. So I figured, well, I'll try that. So I went up, top of the hill, about a mile away from the house, and up in their area, where the deeper woods are. And so I went up there, just stopped alongside the road, and just did a couple calls, stopped. Yeah, never finding Bigfoot. Yes. Yeah. Did a couple calls and sat there and listened, and there didn't get any response. Nothing happened. So, how you doing, Duke? Good to see you here. But yeah, so I got back in the car, drove home, and I went about my day. And then at nighttime, and nighttime, yeah, my husband was, he's a construction worker. he heavy machine operator, and he worked long days, really long days. He would leave the house at 4 in the morning and sometimes wouldn't get home until evening. And so he's a deep sleeper. So we went to bed, and I woke up around 2:30 in the morning. Something was banging on the side of the house again. But it was multiple somethings on multiple walls. And then I heard something smaller up on the roof. We lived in a low ranch house, and so the roof was really easily accessible. And something was running back and forth along the roof, just back and forth. I could hear it, and I'm, calling my husband and shaking him, and he wasn't waking up. And, I'm thinking, what the heck? They're going to break in the house, because the beating on the siding, we had wood siding, and it was just crazy. I couldn't, I could just picture them breaking through that wall with how hard they were beating on that wood siding. And just, I was terrified. And then finally, I woke up Lou, maybe, sort of. I don't think he was completely awake. He woke up, and I told him, go make sure all the doors are locked. Yeah, exactly, Duke. Exactly. And so from that point in time, I don't do calls anymore. I learned my lesson. I overstepped the boundary, for one thing. I went up into their territory, and I did some calls, and just don't do that. So I don't exactly. They are vindictive. Yes, they are. They really are. They're vindictive. Yeah, I don't do knocks, and I don't do calls. And I try to teach people, if you don't know the language, don't try to speak it. Because there's calls and there's wood knocks, they're a language. And if you don't know the language, don't try to speak it. Because you're just going to screw it up, and you don't know what you're saying. You don't know what the calls mean. You don't know what the knocks mean. So just don't do it. Okay, my next sighting was in 2015, where I had a nice clear sighting. Yeah, Corky, go where they live, they will go where I live. Well, they were used to coming to where I live, Duke. Or Corky, yeah, that's Corky. Because most likely, there was an elderly couple that lived in that house before my husband bought the house. And most likely, I'm thinking that either the elderly lady or man would put food out for them. And that's what I'm thinking brought them into the house, drew them to that house to begin with. But yeah, Duke. Yeah, I wave. Yeah, I give open palm. Say hello. But that's about it. I really don't want to draw them in, because we moved from that house, and I've seen them around here a few times, found quite a bit of sign. And just the other day, I may possibly have heard, some the samurai chatter again, from up the hill. So I really don't want to draw their attention to me again. I don't want to go through that anymore. But 2015, my husband and I, this was before we moved here to our new house and built our new house here. We were going around looking at different properties. We were in Columbiana County near Beaver Creek State Park in Ohio. And we were looking at a property there in that area. And we're driving down, south, Route 7 south towards, East Liverpool, towards East Liverpool, but we were closer to Beaver Creek State Park. But we were driving south on Route 7. And my husband was driving, and, I was just looking out the window. It's a wooded area. And we passed a dirt lane. And as we passed that dirt lane, I saw a huge, monstrously huge Bigfoot, black Bigfoot. He stepped out from the woods, crossed over that dirt lane and into the woods on the other side. There's a creek along there and a game trail I discovered later. Hey, Hillary, good to see you. And it just lasted, we drove on down the road. So, it was only a couple seconds that I saw, and, as we went past, just my brain is processing, okay, was that a deer? No, way too big. Was it a tree? No, way too big and it moved. Aw. They're all singing Hillary. Aw, how cute. And was it a stump? No, it moved. It was way too big and it moved. I saw the arms and the legs. Was it a bear? No, way too big. The shape was completely different from a bear, and it walked completely different than a bear. It was not a bear. My brain is just going down the line, trying to debunk what I saw. And so I asked Lou, I said, hey, can you turn around? Can we go down here, turn around and go back? I think I saw something. So he went down, turned around, came back, and I told him where to pull over. And we pulled over opposite of that lane. And so, he's just sitting there very patiently. And I'm sitting there, just looking at that lane and studying it and processing what I saw. And yep, that was a huge Bigfoot. That one was, and I would be very conservative in saying that he was about 10 foot tall. Huge, absolutely huge, completely black. Now, my sister and I returned a few months later, where, I found the time where I could spend, just checking out that area. And so my sister and I went back, and unfortunately, apparently someone had bought that property, put up a 8-foot tall chain link fence with razor wire across the top, and no signs. It wasn't marked as gas well or anything like that. So I have no idea what was on the other side, or who owned it. But they bulldozed everything. It was completely changed. But yeah, it was a big one. All right. 2017. This was in May. My husband and I, we moved into our new home here. We were getting settled in. It was nice weather. And I live in, it's Shenango Township, Lawrence County, Wampum area. And, I'm sitting out on my brand new front porch. Yeah, that was no gorilla. Sitting out on my new front porch, just enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the view. There's a field across from us, and on the opposite side of the field, there's woods that go back pretty deep. You look on the map, and it goes all the way to the Ohio state line, basically. But I'm sitting there, just enjoying the view, enjoying the sunshine and the breeze. And I saw there were 3 deer that came out from the woods, from top of the hill. And they went down along the tree line. They just didn't run. They were just trotting along down the hill, just following the tree line. And then they cut into a game trail at the bottom, back into the woods at the bottom. And then I looked at the top. Here comes a Bigfoot. Come out of the trees, following along that same game trail, down along the tree line, following the deer, not running, just walking. And he cut into the game trail right behind the deer. Now this one, he was about 8 foot tall. He was like a brownish gray. He had some gray mixed into the brown. So he was a little bit older. I have since seen him 2 more times. He's a little bit more gray, a lot more gray now. I've seen him at nighttime. Very pretty hair. It's like a silver in the moonlight. But yeah, and that one, he was probably around, I would say around 75 yards away. That one in Columbiana County in Ohio, let me think, he was probably right around the same distance, right around 75 yards, something like that. The first one, he was fairly close. The one in Allegheny County, he was about 30 yards. Okay, and then let's see here. 1, 2, North Sewickley, Elwood City, Yeah, got that one. 2007, 2015, 2017. Yeah, the two other times that I've seen that one where I live now, that was the summer of 2022. Hi, good to see you, dragons. Patty, Bigfoot Magnet. Oh, Corky, yeah, you have one with a stripe of gray on his back. Cool. That's cool. Okay, the last one that I saw that I know absolutely was a Bigfoot. I think this one is the most famous one. Everybody always wants to hear this story. This was in 2018. My sister and I, we were invited to go on a research trip out in Oklahoma with a bunch of Bigfoot researchers. So we met up in Sulphur, Oklahoma. This is outside of the Chickasaw National Recreation Area, Caddo County, Oklahoma, is where, that's where we stayed in Sulphur, near the Chickasaw National Recreation Area. Where I saw this Bigfoot, that was in Caddo County, Oklahoma. We were out there for a week, going all over southern Oklahoma, just hitting up all area. We hit up the National Recreation Area. Oh man, yeah, that Oklahoma, I tell you, is underrated. If you want to have a good chance to see a Bigfoot, you go there. It's fantastic. Fantastic area. Excuse me. Let me see. On the one day, we went to an area, Caddo Lake. Yeah. We went to an area nicknamed Purgatory. We drove back into this area, and we were there at nighttime, up until about midnight, and we had a pretty hairy experience there. And I'm trying to think what happened. Okay, Kumbo was with us, and he did a special call, and 3 Bigfoot answered from 3 different directions, and they were pissed, absolutely pissed, and they came racing in on us, and they were roaring all the way in. And here we are in this backcountry area, out on this dirt road, with a bad reputation in this area for what goes on. And here's these 3 Bigfoot roaring in on us. And there were about 14 of us all together in about seven pickup trucks. And we're we're standing around outside. My sister was in, I think she was in Kumbo's truck. She was absolutely clueless as to what was going on. She was on her cell phone, just texting or whatever. And, so we're listening to these Bigfoot coming in on us, just, huddled together and saying, holy crap. the Bigfoot came in. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Oh, yeah, cooking all day. I know. Same here. I've been cooking all day, and I'm pretty much wiped out. But these 3 Bigfoot came in, but they stopped about 50 yards out, and they were quiet. But we could see eye shine, and they were moving around a little bit. We could see them behind the bushes. The eye shine. We could hear, a little bit of movement. So we knew they were there, but they stopped. They weren't attacking. They weren't doing anything. They weren't vocalizing. They just stopped. And, we finally, they went away. And nothing else happened at that point in time. So, after a while, nothing going on, we decided to leave. Camp was about 3 hours away, and it was midnight, so we figured we better get going. So we all piled into the trucks, and the one guy, he was having problems with his truck. It started to break down. So we pulled over into a casino it was in the same county, Caddo County, Oklahoma. And offhand, I can't remember the name of the casino, Gold something or other. But we pulled over into the parking lot, and everybody else got out there, huddled around trying to help this guy, working on his truck. And the 4 of us, we stayed in the pickup truck that we were in. Let's see, there was the driver. His name is Dave. The other guy in the front passenger seat was Chuck. And then I was sitting behind Dave, and my sister was behind Chuck. Now, Dave and my sister had never seen a Bigfoot. So as soon as the vehicle stopped and he shut it off, they're both on their phones, just playing on their phones. Chuck and I were more experienced, so we knew, didn't matter where you're at, even in the parking lot of a casino, you stay alert. And I tell everyone, maintain situational awareness. Be aware of your surroundings. Doesn't matter where you're at. Be aware. So Chuck's sitting there, looking out the window, and I'm sitting there looking out the window. And all of a sudden, there's movement. Something came running out from between the casino building and the building next door, ran across this brightly lit parking lot, through all the pickup trucks, all the way through this parking lot. Remember, this is 12:30 at night. The parking lot is very well lit up. It ran across that parking lot, across the highway, and into the woods on the other side. Chuck said, "Did you see that?" And I said, "Yeah, I saw that." And Dave and my sister, they went, What? What'd you see? What happened?" So, Chuck and I compared notes as to what we saw. And we pretty much, it was an 8-foot tall Bigfoot. I think it was brown. I'm not sure. At this point in time, I don't remember what color it was, but he was moving fast. He was running full tilt right out, across that parking lot. And, Chuck and I, like I said, we compared notes. I asked him, how long do you estimate that it took him to run from where he came out to where he went into the woods? And he said, probably about 3 seconds. And I said, that's what I figured too, about 3 seconds. And so whenever I got home, I got on the computer, got onto Google Earth, and I was able to measure from point A to point B, where he came out from between the buildings to where he went into the woods on the other side. And I was able to measure the distance. And unfortunately, offhand, I can't remember what that distance is. But by measuring the time that it took him to run it, along with the distance itself, I was able to figure out approximately how fast he was running. And I figured that he was running approximately 52 miles an hour. And whenever I tell this story, you know, whenever I go to conferences or festivals, you know, and I'm telling that story, I usually stop before I say what I estimated, and I tell people, guess, take a guess, you know, how fast do you think he was going? And, you know, I usually get responses like, you know, 30 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour, and, you know, somewhere, you know, right around, usually around the low end, you know, as fast as maybe a horse would run. And no, he was, excuse me, Corky, he was running upright, bipedal. He was just running full tilt, you know, because he ran, I could see him as he ran past the pickup trucks. You know, his head was up above the pickup trucks, and he was just, hey, Greg, good to see you. Aw, happy Thanksgiving. You're still working. Holy crap, Greg. Get on home. Corky, you see them do 45, yeah. Well, Kumbo has, he's clocked them right around 50, 55 miles an hour also. On his various adventures with them. So my estimate kind of runs alongside it. Okay, you've seen them running on all fours, yeah. That I haven't seen yet, although it's a possibility that I've seen it. But again, you know, it was just a glimpse. So I cannot say categorically that it was a Bigfoot that I saw running on all fours. Hey, Mid-South Sasquatch. Good to see you. Welcome. Greg, tell Abby we said hello and happy Thanksgiving. Michelle, good to see you. But yeah, that was my 5 sightings. Now I've been bluff charged. I've had rocks and tree limbs thrown at me. There was one that crawled up underneath my pickup truck. They were trying to get me to go away, and I wasn't going away. And the one, I guess, figured he'd crawl up under the truck and try to intimidate me. And unfortunately, I could not leave at that point in time. So they were stuck with me, and it was, oh well. Okay, Duke, let me go up here, highlight. You have 2 different witnesses chased in their cars by big ones. Both of them said when they went past 50 miles an hour, they pulled away from them. Yeah. I'm thinking, you know, depending on, you know, the Bigfoot, you know, 50 to 55 would be their top speed. Okay, you've been bluff charged twice. Cool. Well, I don't know about cool. It's a all I can say about mine was it was a brown shorts moment. Okay, you had a clear view from your research area. He was by the bridge in a high windstorm. Got spooked, ran to Beaver Creek. Okay, okay. How the heck can they get up to that speed? Well, I don't know, but they can. Physiology. It comes down to physiology. That's about all I can tell you, Patty. The long legs, the strength in their legs, they, in their haunches, their gluteus maximus. Okay, you have not been bluff charged or zapped. Okay, you hope to keep it that way. I've been zapped so many times. I can't even tell you how many times, and my body reacts in different ways whenever I do get zapped. I've gotten intense migraines, upset stomach, dizzy, a little bit of confusion. The one time really didn't get a migraine. I just felt pressure, just pressure in my head. And, that one really pissed me off, because he wasn't letting up, and everybody else, in our team was having a reaction to it. And, and I was a little bit closer to it, and, that pressure kept building, and, finally I just snapped at it, and I said, you just stop it. I looked over at it. I was maybe 15 feet away from where it was standing, and he was in the trees. I really couldn't make him out real clear. But, we all knew he was there. A couple of team members could see him a little bit more clearly because they were standing straight across from him. But yeah, this one, I gave him that mom voice. You guys know, because I've done it before, and they usually listen to me. Whenever I talk to them with that mom voice, they back off. I've had time displacement on 2 occasions where I lost several hours mid-South Sasquatch. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. And that's frightening also. Although that happens to me whenever I'm on YouTube, watching YouTube videos. I lose several hours for some reason. But no, that's entirely different. I know. Yeah, we have power over them through Jesus' name. Yes, we do. Yep. They recognize that, absolutely. They recognize it and they obey it. They cannot refuse it either. They can't. They're forced to fear the mom voice. Yes. They back off. I'm telling you, Duke, they do. They back off. Every time if they piss me off enough, because you guys know, I've told it many times before, the one pissed me off so much because he was tormenting my dog, just Xena. She was just terrified of him. And, I just got so pissed at him, that I chased after him. I picked up a golf club that I had sitting by the back door, opened up the door and chased out after him, just hollering at him. He just pissed me off so much. And he ran away, fortunately. I don't suggest that anyone else do that, though. Yeah, I truly don't. These ones up here in Pennsylvania, they're different. I guess in the South, the ones in the South that Greg deals with, I don't know. They're a little bit more intimidating down there. I would be a bit more extremely careful there. So again, I do not suggest that anyone goes running after a Bigfoot holding a golf club or chasing out after them in the woods, okay? I just don't suggest it. No, just don't do it. It's stupid. Let's see, the first time I was in the middle of the forest looking at a clan. Next minute, I'm sitting on my front porch. Holy crap, 5 miles. Yeah, that is scary. That truly is. That's very scary. Yeah, the grass man is more passive. Yeah, they are around here. They're more passive. The ones around here, they don't vocalize a lot, and when they do, 9 times out of 10, it's late at night, like around 3 a.m. or something, or whenever the coyotes are going. I'll hear them mixed in with the coyotes, or I'll hear a call. But yeah, the other day though, I heard that samurai chatter, and that was middle of the day. And boy, I wish I wish they would have kept it up, because I was going to run in and grab my phone and see if I could have recorded them, but by the time I would have come back out, they were done. They were only doing it for a short period of time, and it was just weird, very, very weird. Whenever you hear that samurai chatter, it truly is just strange. That's about all I can tell you. Okay, Duke. The ones around here are terrifying or sweet, depending on a large part on if they like you or not. Yeah. Yeah, the only threatening interactions that I've had with them around here were from whenever they were trying to chase me away. And whenever I was getting too close to their area, possibly too close to, excuse me, possibly too close, to the babies or something, to the nesting area. And that's whenever they would throw rocks at me, or tree limbs. I got, the one time I got bluff charged, it was they were trying to hunt, and I was interrupting the hunt. I was in the middle of their hunting area, and they were just trying to make me go away. And unfortunately, I was with a disabled lady, and she was waiting on her husband who was out hiking, and there was no way that we were going to leave. I wasn't going to leave her, for one thing. And so, I knew the one, I was afraid, excuse me, afraid that the one was going to come crawling up underneath the truck, but because they were trying to divert my attention. And so I figured, one's going to come up here, I know. And it did. Came up underneath my truck. I could smell it. So I just stepped over to where the tire of my truck was blocking me from him. That was another brown shorts moment. Let's see. And the bluff charge was them trying to divert my attention away while this guy came up underneath my truck. Man. Okay, Mother effing Chew. Interesting name, but I am new here. I've never seen a Bigfoot, but living in Appalachian Mountains for the past 30 years, I've heard some weird stuff. Yes. I've lived in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. And yeah, I've seen some weird stuff and heard some weird stuff, experienced quite a bit up in the Appalachian Mountains. If once you see something or experience something, it's unforgettable. It truly is. You never know about if you'll see a Bigfoot or not. All I can tell you is don't wish to see one, because you never know what you're going to experience. You may experience something not so nice. So just live your life and live your daily life. Enjoy the mountains. I love the mountains. I would never be able to move away from them. My mother, she was a hillbilly, West Virginia hillbilly. Mountains were in her blood. Okay, Corky. Ooh, 10 after 9 already. Wow. Okay, so we'll get to the drawing in a little bit. Tell you what, guys, if you want to be included in the drawing for the prizes, don't forget we've got a ball cap with a Bigfoot on it, got a hoodie, t-shirts, that metal sign, an autographed copy of my book, and some car magnets. So just start commenting the word prize. And okay, Patrick, if you comment the word prize, you'll be in the drawing. So Patrick Noble, you're the first one. I'll go over the names and numbers again before I do the drawing to make sure I don't miss anyone. Okay, so Patrick Okay, Phyllis. Shad Perry. Ooh, you guys are going too fast. Corky's. Yeah, Corky. Mother effing Chew. Patrick can't play. Unfortunately, yes, he can, Phyllis. Diane Dunn. Number 6, Duke, World Bigfoot Central. Okay, number 7, Mid-South Sasquatch. Okay, number 8, J.R. Haynes. You guys, you're something. Okay, so far we have 8 people so far. Now, let me know if I've missed anyone, because I'll go over the names and numbers. Number 1 is Patrick Noble. Number 2, Phyllis Mouche Perry. Number 3, Corky's Research. Okay, Patty Fry. Let me add you in here. Okay, number 3, Corky's Research. Number 4 is Mother effing Chew. Number 5, Diane Dunn. Number 6, okay, let me get you in here, David. David Bird, okay. Okay, number 5 is Diane Dunn. Number 6 is World Bigfoot Central. Number 7, Mid-South Sasquatch. Number 8, J.R. Haynes. Number 9, Patty Fry. Number 10, David Bird. Did I miss anyone? If so, comment. Make sure you comment in there. Yeah. Yeah, I got you in there, Mother effing Chew. Yeah, you're number 4. Yeah, if you want in on the drawing, guys, type in the word prize. I'll go over the names and numbers again just to make sure I didn't miss anyone, before I do the drawing. So comment prize if you want to be in on the drawing. And I'll give it a couple minutes because I know there's going to be a delay. Yeah, we must have lost Jeff. Yeah. Winner, Bigfoot gonna make you dinner. Yeah. Thanksgiving dinner, huh? Thanksgiving dinner with Bigfoot. Yeah, make sure you type in the word prize if you want to be included in the drawing. Yeah, make me a birthday cake. Yeah. They eat a lot of bugs. Yeah, grubs and bugs and all kinds of protein, whatever's protein. Yep. I was going to say something. Can't remember what I was going to say. Oh yeah, birthday cake. Yeah, I made myself. I had a strawberry cake mix in the cupboard, and I'd canned some pumpkin about a month or so ago, and so I just opened up that jar of pumpkin and threw it in with the strawberry cake mix, along with some pumpkin pie spice and milk and a couple extra eggs, because I want to make sure that here, let me make sure that make sure that it was a good fluffy cake. Oh yeah, and I had some white icing and almonds and put that made the cake and had it after dinner tonight. Oh, so good. So good. And my husband, Lou, he'll either eat vanilla or chocolate cake, and that's it. His favorite is vanilla with chocolate icing. So I had that in the cupboard also, and I said, okay. Unfortunately, by that time, I didn't have any more energy, so I couldn't make his cake. And I got everything out for him. And I said, if you want your vanilla cake so you won't have to eat my cake, here's the cake mix and everything. So he made himself a vanilla cake with chocolate icing. And so he'll have his cake, and I've got my cake. And it's really good, Phyllis. Oh, you made your famous cornbread dressing today. Yum. You could really use that Bigfoot warning sign. Yeah. Well, we'll do the drawing in just a minute. I'll, if you want to be in the drawing, guys, type in the word prize. Make sure that I don't miss you. I'm going to go over the names again here, the names and numbers. Okay, number 1 is Patrick Noble. Number 2, Phyllis Mouche Perry. Number 3, Corky's Research. Number 4, Mother Effing Chew. Number 5, Diane Dunn. Number 6, World Bigfoot Central. Number 7, Mid-South Sasquatch. Number 8, J.R. Haynes. Number 9, Patty Fry. Number 10, David Bird. Okay, did I miss anyone? If I did, make sure you type in there. Type in the word prize. Okay, I'll give it, because there's always a little bit of a delay, I noticed, like for a minute or so. So I'll wait, give it a couple minutes, and then we'll do the drawing. What I use is I go to random.org. Let me open up the page. There's a glare on the screen. Random.org, and hopefully it'll show up. There we go. Perspective here is pretty different. Okay, what I'll do. Okay. Okay. Well, I don't see anyone else commenting, and apparently I did not miss any names. So I will do the drawing. Okay, we have 10 contestants. So I'll put in to the number generator 1 through 10. Okay, so drum roll, yes. All right. Generate. Let's see if it came up with a number. No, I didn't hit it hard enough. There we go. Okay. Number 6. Number 6. Hey, we got Duke. Duke is the winner. World Bigfoot Central. Number 6. See that? All right. Duke, if you are still on, if you have Facebook Messenger, you can send me a message, with your address and everything, or else I'll type in my email address, and you can email it to me if you prefer. Let's see here, which one? I've got like 3. Oop. Where's the @ sign there? Okay. There's my email. Monkey Wench, no R, Monkey Wench, P as in Paul, B as in boy, P as in Paul, @gmail.com. Monkey Wench, PBP @gmail.com. Yeah, JR. Okay. Yeah, JR, tell Misty the Night Owls needs to do a giveaway. Yeah, Greg. Yeah, you guys do that. Which I could catch you guys, but you guys, you're night owls. All right, Duke. Congratulations. Congratulations to Duke. Come on, everyone. And don't forget, guys, give us a thumbs up, okay? Give us a thumbs up. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to Duke and everyone here. I want to thank you so much for joining us and making this such a I think we're a pretty good podcast. We do things a little bit differently. You just get started at midnight. Yeah, we do things a little bit differently. Oh, you're welcome, Duke. I'm so glad. But yeah, you let me know what you want. Apparently you want the sign, but that's all right. You let me know what you want. And along with your address. Again, we have that metal sign, car magnets, ball cap, t-shirt, or hoodie. And so your choice, winner's choice. But congratulations, Duke. I'm glad whenever you're able to join in with us. I'm always happy to see you again. And I guess Vicki isn't in there anymore. She had to probably go away for her podcast. And I'm so glad. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell you what, I'm going to shut it down. We had a fantastic evening. Thank you for joining me. Thanks, Patty. But good night, everyone. You all have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the time with your family. Big love, Greg from Pennsylvania. Happy Thanksgiving. Oh, okay. So Flat Rock was on, Untold Radio. Okay. Thanks, Corky. Yep, 29 again. But everybody, wear loose pants tomorrow. Don't wear a belt. Don't bother wearing a belt. You'll just have to loosen it. Eat your fill. Visit with your family. Love your family. Give them big hugs. Appreciate every single day that you have with your family, because it's precious. It's a precious thing to have, and you always stick together no matter what. Stick with your family. All right. Love y'all, guys. God bless. If you have any prayer requests, my email address is up there. Send me your prayer requests. Happy Turkey Day. Love you. God bless. Monkey Wench out.